evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Mitchell Ringos. Well, a two-vehicle crash at the Steel River Bridge between Terrace Bay and Marathon has been confirmed by the OPP to be fatal, as they said one person is deceased. They didn't have any information on the other drivers, but did say the crash fully closed that portion of Highway 17 in both directions. As of now, the highway was partially reopened to one lane with alternating traffic while the investigation continues. As the temperatures continue to drop below -20, it's more important than ever for the city's vulnerable population to find shelter from the cold. Officials with PACE say they're trying to help as many people as they can through their warming center, and they're expecting to see even more people in the coming weeks. Jessica Clement reports.
This weekend's freezing cold temperatures brought a steady stream of people through PACE's doors, and the employees were working hard to ensure they were safe and comfortable. Executive Director Georgina McKinnon says just a couple hours after opening Saturday morning, they already saw over 70 people come in, and she estimates they'll see a lot more in the coming weeks.
Last year, we were seeing 120 to 150 people a day. Already the numbers have surpassed what they were last year in the warmer weather. So I'm thinking we're going to see 150 to 180 people a day easily. And they come in multiple times a day.
The warming center doesn't just provide shelter from the harsh winter weather, it also provides food and drinks, warm clothes, and peer support. McKinnon says it takes a lot of work to keep the warming center open 7 days a week.
We're open 12 and a half hours a day minimum, 7 days a week. So it's at least 4 employees for 2 shifts a day. And a lot goes into keeping them busy, keeping them happy here. Thank you so much to the giant hearts in Thunder Bay. We couldn't do it without the support of this community.
Peer support worker Don Mann reciprocates the sentiments and emphasizes the importance of having warming centers readily available in the city.
We have harm reduction, we have naloxone, we have all of those supplies that are needed for people, and it keeps them around here if they're using that, there's somebody around.
And McKinnon says they usually stay open until the end of March, but depending on the weather, they could keep their services available well into April. Jessica Clement, TBT News.
Thunder Bay's 2 MPPs continue to be at odds over Canadian content rules and how they impact the local Alston Railcar plant. As late last year, the company missed out on a massive $9 billion contract for the new Ontario Line subway project. The contract was awarded to Hitachi Rail and includes $2.3 billion worth of subway vehicles. Officials with Unifor said if the 25% Canadian content rules were adhered to, those vehicles could have been built by Alstom, but the province allowed the railcar portion to be just 10% Canadian content, as 75% of the other work for the Ontario line will be done in this province. Local NDP member Lise Vaugeois says the Ford government is hurting the Alstom plant, but local PC member Kevin Holland defends their rationale.
There's a lot of underlying factors that went into the Canadian content portion of the last contract that really had an impact and a factor on the final decision. So.
The Conservative government is talking about jobs in Ontario for Ontario workers. Alstom has been left out in the cold, and that's, to me, I can't understand that. They have such a skilled workforce, such a history of producing really quality products, and it is gutting our local economy. And I am going to keep pushing. I mean, we're at a time when they're building an enormous amount of public transit with taxpayer dollars. A proportion of that should be coming to Thunder Bay and to workers at Alstom. So I'm going to keep fighting for that.
A separate contract for 480 subway cars for the TTC is expected to be awarded in December of this year, and local officials are pinning their hopes on the deal to save the struggling Thunder Bay local plant. OPP have arrested 3 Kenora residents in connection with a large drug bust. Officers from several units and detachments executed a search warrant in the 200 block of 9th Street South in Kenora on January 24th. As a result, officers located and seized what is believed to be crystal meth, hydromorphone tablets, cocaine, and other items used in the sale of illegal drugs. The approximate street value of the drugs is over $34,000. Two Kenora men, aged 51 and 40, along with a 46-year-old Kenora woman, have been charged with drug trafficking and possession of property obtained by crime. OPP say crystal meth destroys lives and threatens the safety of our communities, and they're encouraging anyone with information about illegal drugs or firearms to contact police or Crime Stoppers. The Timmins Fire Detachment is helping with the war effort in Ukraine by sending used but still high-quality equipment to outfit fellow firefighters in the war-ravaged country. CTV's Lydia Chubak says the so-called bunker gear will first be sent to an organization in Western Canada before making its final trip to Ukraine.
The Timmins Fire Department has found a way to help its fellow firefighters in Ukraine. All this bunker gear can no longer be used by the local fire crews. The acting chief training officer says it has a shelf life of 10 years after it's been manufactured.
It's all high quality gear, just under our regulations. We can't use it anymore, but it's still high quality, good condition, good repair, so much useful everywhere else in the world.
Helmets, coats, pants, boots, and holders for air canisters are getting packed up on pallets and will be flown to an organization called Firefighter Aid Ukraine, a charity in Edmonton. It was founded around 10 years ago through an Alberta Rotary Club, and so far it's supplied over 235 tons of gear to Ukraine.
The high frequency of what they're going to now, like fires every day, and not just structure, like small structure fires, like a house or something. We're talking like crumbling apartment buildings and sifting through the rubble, and it's just getting broken down at a massive rate. So supplying them with what we can is what we're doing.
Shaw adds that Ukraine is appreciative of everything that it gets, and as long as the war persists, it's going to need more. Other fire departments that want to donate used fire equipment can look for Firefighter Aid Ukraine online. In the past, Timmins has also sent gear to Haiti after an earthquake. Lydia Chubak, CTV News, Timmins.
A Lakehead University professor has been busy researching a new app that aims to help adolescents with early mental health intervention. The Joypop app was first launched in 2017, and Ashlyn Mushquash has been testing its effectiveness here in northwestern Ontario. Thanks to a $300,000 grant, Mushquash is conducting studies in partnership with Delico and Children's Center Thunder Bay to see if the app can be a means of intervention for youth experiencing mild to moderate mental health symptoms. She also hopes to determine whether the app can increase the willingness of youth to engage with preventative counseling services and reduce the eventful need that more urgent forms of intervention. So far, Mushquash is pleased with the result of her team's research.
We find that youth really like it. They like how simple it is. They like that they're able to access it without anybody else knowing. They don't have to walk into a counseling office, into a treatment setting to access support. It's right with them all the time. We had one youth tell us, like, this is the first thing that's ever worked for me. And now, we have a lot of youth who've now joined our team in terms of doing this research and helping promote it within the organization. That's the stage that we're at now that there is positive sort of feelings towards it. How do we best integrate it and best evaluate it in an ongoing basis?
The app targets youth aged 12 and up, but the next stage of research is to determine the app's effectiveness on younger children. A classic story will be coming to life next week as Applause Productions will be performing Oliver Jr., a musical based on Charles Dickens' novel Oliver Twist. The musical will have audiences on an emotional roller coaster as it follows Oliver, an orphan who goes through a number of hardships before eventually finding his true family. 25 children are involved in the play, and the group has been working on the production since September. Performances will be on February 4th and 5th at Trinity Hall on the corner of Park and Algoma Street. We spoke to some actors who said they're excited to be performing the classic Dickens tale.
It's a really good story, and it's really sad sometimes, but there's lots of comedy in it, and I feel like there's like a little bit of something for everyone in the audience.
I'm really happy that I got included in this because the cast is amazing, like you said, and I've made a ton of friends, and it's very fun, and I'm excited to perform.
I'm happy to be part of this too because I really love theater, and so anytime I get to do a play, I'm happy, and I have a lot of friends in the cast, so I love the cast too.
Tickets are available for purchase online, and more information about start times can be found at applauseproductions.com. The Society of Beer Drinking Ladies is a 10-year-old organization from Southern Ontario that brings women together who love drinking beer. But today, they held their first event right here in Northwest Ontario.
I drink beer and hang out with women because we are awesome.
75 women attended the Bevy 1 event as all tickets sold out in just over a 2-week span. Micah and her daughter Scotia are members of the Society's Northwest chapter, and they put everything together from inviting all their lady friends to ensuring that funds raised from sold merchandise supported the Elizabeth Fry Society, which helps homeless women get back on their feet. Micah says the event was all about celebrating women's accomplishments and organizations in the community that support women.
I think women societally are not very nice to each other. Typically when women are successful, we tend to cut each other down and we're judgmental, and this is an opportunity for us to do and be better to our fellow women folk in our community. Our big goals are that we will take this out into the Northwestern Ontario and Northwestern region. We want to support everybody, and we just want to celebrate the goodness that local business brings to this community.
Micah and Scotia plan to continue partnering with local breweries and are hoping to host their next big event on International Women's Day in March. And after the break, we will be joined by sports anchor Kurt Black. He'll have the highlights of one of the best rivalries in the North.